What's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and like Aaron Judge says, it's time to bring out only the best to play. So we got David.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the circus.
And we got Alex.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
All right, everybody, you guys know the drill. Rate, review, like, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Odyssey, Amazon, all places where you get your podcast platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube on the 5 Reasons Network, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Like always, this first segment is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to browse, find, and buy your tickets for all spring training, sporting events, concerts, regular events. You name it, they got it. Use our promo code Bronx Muchachos, all capitals, to get your discount on your first order. Boys, we're gonna, when we were talking earlier this week, it seemed like we were having a lot of good conversations. Then today, kind of just a lot of some bad karmas out there. Injuries galore, man. I mean, you got Canley missing the beginning of the season. You got Rodon missing the beginning of the season. Bader went down with the oblique injury today. What's going on, boys? Alex, I'll let you run with this first. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about this? Are you happy at least it's spring training, not towards the end of the season?
I'm okay with everything else. I'm like, whatever. It's just the Rodon one. I'm like, that's the one that's really, really disappointing for me right now, because the way it's sounding, like I'm right now in that area that I'm preparing for worst, and I'm not going to prepare for the best right now, because the way, and I heard the news and I read it, I know they're saying he's going to possibly be back and all that kind of stuff, but we know the track record and all that kind of stuff when it comes to this, and it sounds like a Tommy John. Like, it's like I'm looking at it like that way, and like, yeah, it sucks because our farm is not that deep when it comes to starting pitching right now. We're not strong when we need it to be. Where we need it to be. Like, it's scary. It's a little scary right now. Like, hey, remember what last week was it? We were just talking about, or the week before, or whatever, about Schmidt and Domingo. Well, guess what? They're both starting now. Like, let's just be there. We had that. We were having the debate like a couple of. I don't know I remember if it was last week or the week before, guys. But like
last week.
Yeah, but that's
last week.
Yeah, there we go. But that's 100% there now. Like, what? We got Debbie, Warren, Vasquez. Like, Vasquez, I mean, my bad. Like, come on. Like, yeah, I don't know. And then it's going to be a real test for the Yankees right now, okay? Because when we get to the trade deadline, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do at that point. Are they going to go out there and bite the bullet? Like, we could try to do something now with IKF, hopefully. But if we don't, we got to bite the bullet and do some sort of magic trade for us so that we're good to go. Because I don't know. I'm right now at the area. Worst case scenario, we are having Rodon up for the season, in my opinion.
Well, Alex, I assure you with something, Rodon's not going to be out for the season. So just go off the ledge a little bit. Injuries suck. Flat out, simple English. Trevino is looking to be out longer than Canley and Rodon. They're guessing mid-May for him. But with Rodon, the UCL wasn't affected. It was the brachial ligament that was the problem and not the UCL. So Aaron Boone the other day, Northport, when they were playing Braves, pretty much saved him from having Tommy John surgery because he told him not to throw as hard as he can. He told him to back off. He was hitting between 91 and 84 miles an hour. Had Rodon been throwing full strength, yeah, absolutely. This is probably a Tommy John scenario. As of today, for 10 days of no throwing and see what happens. Hopefully he gets better. But as far as right now, 5 in the road and Herman number 4, in my opinion. And then into the minor leagues, you got guys like Will Warren, Randy Vest, and Johnny Brito. And then you could fill in the relief role with a guy that I really like this spring has been Ian Hamilton. He's a non-roster invite, but guy throws gas and has been very impressive this the spring training. So there are options in the minor leagues. Are they great? No. Are they unknowns? Yes, but that's why they call them prospects. So we'll just have to wait out and see how it goes, and hopefully these guys can come back when they come back and be 100% healthy and get us through to the playoffs. So
No, I agree with what you're saying. Rodon's injury stinks. It really does. I was hoping at least have our four horses going starting off the season, but but gotta remember something with Rodon. He's never been truly a healthy pitcher. Last year I think was the 1 year that he was healthy, but he's never pitched more than two. He's never pitched 200 innings either. So, he's already had Tommy John surgery once before. So if we can bite the bullet and just literally is just the forearm strain, that's all that needs to be. Give him the rest, give him the first month off or whatever, and then let him come back and let him pitch from May on. We got Sevy, we got Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole looked good the other day. Nestor looks fine, and I think with that cutter that Clark Schmidt has, I think that's going to be a nice addition to his repertoire. That should be a game changer for him. Because his four seam wasn't doing anything against lefty, so this cutter can do something there. Domingo can pitch. Those guys could also be auditions for other teams as well. Because once we can start getting people back, then you can kind of start taking a look, going, okay, well, are we going to keep them? Or are we not going to keep them? And to Alex's point about making deals, I wouldn't even wait to the trade deadline. I wouldn't wait. Right, I wouldn't wait then. You're making your phone calls to Colorado, making your phone calls out to Los Angeles, to the Dodgers with IKF, get that $6 million going there. Take whatever's back comes back. I mean, you get a little salary relief. Then you figure on what you're going to do. I mean, the oblique injury to Bader is going to be an issue.
Yes.
Because an oblique injury that's going to linger. That lingers throughout the season. You remember a few years ago with Judge, he had an oblique injury and he couldn't pull the ball at all. Brett Gardner had more home runs. Brett Gardner had more home runs that season than Aaron Judge did. Exactly. So, whatever power supply we thought that Bader was going to provide, I have a feeling that's now you cut that in half. So if people were sitting there going, give him, he's a 20 home run guy, just look at him for 10 home runs. That's what, and don't expect to pull power. Just think of him opposite field all day, every day.
Okay.
I think this injury for Bader, I think, really opens the door, and they keep Dominguez in camp as long as they possibly can to help push him forward a lot more, so he can get through AA, get him into AAA a lot faster. I think that's the move now. Is that you're moving or even Elijah Dunham?
When it comes to that one, I'm not really stressing that one out like at all, because I was over here on the camp anyway saying that we were not going to keep that. He's just there. He's just basically like that stop until it's time to move up Dominguez or whatever, and then he's going to be out of here. Like he wasn't going to be here long anyway. I was never in that camp. But back to like the Rodon area, you're saying making trades, and I agree with you to work on that. When do we start trying to look at the free agency, see who's out there still in the market to go for that?
I mean, the only way the Yankees are going to look at free agency right now is if they move salary, because the Yankees are right at the 292 or 293 border number right there. I think there's like a couple $100,000. Yankees are a couple $100,000 underneath it right now.
Okay.
So there's no moves that there's no signing a free agent until you get rid of salary. So once you figure on what a Bader, once you figure out what you're doing with IKF, once you figure out what you're doing with Gleyber Torres, once you figure out what you're doing with we're going to say Donaldson, but Donaldson.
Forget that part then. If you had a choice, though, if you had to look at the free agency, is there anyone that you would want to look at then? The numbers wise, they'll do something. They could always do something, even if they did go over a little over. They went over. It's the Yankees. They don't care. They'll do it.
Oh no, Hal Steinbrenner cares. Remember, Hal Steinbrenner cares.
There's sometimes in case emergencies. Who would you do?
There's one name out there that I would take a chance on, but it's not going to happen.
Who?
You know the name as well as I do. It'd be Trevor Bauer. That's the only name I'd take a chance on.
Really?
Just because he's got a track record. He's got a track record where he is a top of the line pitcher. But I know that's not going to happen.
I think we could put. I'm not even thinking Trevor. I'm over here thinking Bundy.
Thinking Dylan Bundy.
Yeah,
Dylan Bundy?
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? Why not? Why are we got like? Okay, I understand the Trevor Bauer. Why not though? Why don't we try it? Like, come on. Even if it was, he has the starting just for the fact that he has at least starting pitching ability, or not ability, but
he's not
experience.
That good.
I'm not saying he is, but at least he has experience. Like Trevor Bauer, we're gonna be waiting a lot longer for that. At least this guy, we could have him for like a little bit and get rid of him right away.
Well, they're not going to need to replace.
For that case, why not get Matt Harvey while you're at it too?
There we go. See, that's another
He's
one.
pitching in Japan right now.
He's a free agent, I thought. Matt Harvey's pitching for Team Italy right now. Is what he's doing.
He's pitching over in Japan, or whatever he's doing. He's not playing in MLB, and they don't need to go onto the free agent market and find a replacement for Rodon. They have Clark. And those are the two guys that are going to take over from Montas and Rodon until they get back. So you don't need to exit free agent market for pitching. So there's.
No, you're right. No, you're right about that. But going by what Alex was saying, I mean, if worse comes to worse with Rodon, that this thing lingers out longer, then we're going to need to figure something else out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I have faith.
I mean, bullpen wise, I'm not worried about the bullpen. Yankees are producing arms for the bullpen left and right. I mean, Canely out. It stinks, but it's not a death nail. We knew Efros was going to be out because of the Tommy John surgery he had last year, and all the other guys that are out right now. It's not a death nail because the Yankees always produce and find somebody that can fill in that role, especially with high velocity and that sweeping slider. So,
yeah. But hey, let's stop being all crying then, and let's put it this way. You guys were at the game this past week. Why don't you guys tell everybody how I was at the stadium?
Yeah, go for it. You go first, Dave.
It was great. It was awesome. It's always a great time being there. Just, wish I didn't have to drive back the same night because my son absolutely was going out of his mind going down there. He made it through the first 2 hours. And then after that, he wanted out of his car seat and everything else. So had that all going on. But it was a great time. Great seats right behind home plate. Shout out to Wandy for hooking us up with these tickets, first of all, before we go any further. So it was a great experience, and found out 2 days later that Harrison Bader was actually standing at the end of the aisle next to where he's sitting. Yeah, who he was in street clothes. And then 2 days later, she's sending me a picture of him. She's like, "This is I was standing next to him." But it was a great time to see Volpe in action, got to see Peraza in action. So it was just great all around to be there. And speaking of games, Danny was there today.
But from when you saw though, from what you were seeing at the game, what did you see like from the players? Like, how
if
did
they
anyone
don't
impress
find
you? Who impressed you the most?
Volpe, and if they need to find a way to put Anthony Volpe on this roster.
Okay,
without a doubt, they cannot send him back to the minor leagues. And seeing him, I mean, I saw him last year when he came in and backed up like an 11-8 ball against the Tigers when he wasn't a non-roster invite. Now that he's actually getting playing time, there's no reason why this kid should have to go back to AAA. Not after what Mark and I saw the other day. That's just my opinion.
All right. How about Mark? You were at that same game?
Yeah. I'll take a different spin on that, Dave. I think that having Volpe down in AAA is just fine for the beginning 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks max. He needs to be in AAA. He didn't when he first went up to AAA. He didn't light the world on fire. And there's always some things to work on, especially getting everyday reps. Because you got to remember something. We're talking to put Volpe on the major league roster right now. A bunch of things have to happen. You have to get rid of 2 infielders at minimum, 2 of them, and you got to make sure that everybody you're getting back, that there's no one else coming on the 40-man roster, because he's not a 40-man roster guy. So give a few weeks, give 6 to 8 weeks. I think you put him in AAA. Give him every day at bats. You let him split time. You give him a couple days at short, couple days at second, couple days at third, possibly. Let him get comfortable in all 3 different positions. Then you have the ability to bring him up, especially if he's hitting in the 250s, 260 range, and still showing power, still showing speed. Then that's that. Then you can turn around, and if you haven't traded IKF already, if you haven't traded Torres already, if you haven't traded Donaldson, which I'm still saying he's not getting traded not at the $21 million range, then you have the ability to bring him. Then he can come in there, and then you can have Peraza, who, by everyone's account, it's his job to lose, and he's doing nothing to lose that job. I mean, he had a little foot injury, and he's come back from that just fine. He's still ripping. He was ripping the ball. I was watching the game today. He was ripping the ball. Danny can talk about that more in a little bit, but Peraza shows nothing, to not be the shortstop. I think Volpe plays up better at, all of his talents and all of his skills play up at second base, and having the 2 of them right then and there, boom, that's your middle infield, and that's a 15-year middle infield right there. I still like what I saw. I like what I saw in Dominguez at the game. His route running is still little shaky, but you're talking about a 20-year-old who just turned 20. He's a month, turned 20 a month ago, but he's commanding the outfield better. Like, there was a pop up that was in short center field, and you saw everyone converging, and he was the one to take charge and get the ball. So I like that. I like the strike zone. I mean, his ability to control the strike zone is far beyond his years, man. And he's doing this on both sides of the plate. It's not just one side is far ahead of the other side. So I'm impressed. Where we saw a nice home run from Trey Sweeney. The power from him, left-handed power, impressive. Yeah, that power is impressive. He'll look a lot better at third. He's a big not big and not big like wide. He's wider, but he's bulky.
He's tall.
Yeah, but he's gonna look good at third
He's got
base.
some size to him.
And Danny, you were at today's game. So same question that I asked the guys. Who at today's game impressed you, and what did you see from the whole team that impressed you as well?
I'll lead off with who didn't impress me, and that was Tyler Darnish. That was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
He's got a 96 ERA.
I don't know what it was, but it was pretty bad. Those no getting around that. I was actually sitting with Mario Gomez and John Monaco, who does a lot of really good, who does a lot of great content for Twitter, both of them actually. And we're just talking about Danish, and he throws a heavy ball, but it wasn't heavy today. It was it was a balloon for a lot of those guys. But in terms of Volpe and Peraza both turned 2 double plays. It could have been 3, but Rafael Saldana or Saldana Rafael, whatever, that Red Sox prospect, he's got 80 grade speed, and he was running to first on the third potential one, and Volpe kind of pulled it. But they looked really good up the middle. Both looked really smooth. Peraza pulled the ball foul today, and I had a feeling that at bat he was going to put a charge into one, and he made an actually pretty good adjustment and pulled one past the third baseman. So Peraza looked really good today. Judge looked natural and left. I kind of want to see a little bit more of Rafael Ortega.
Is anybody shocked?
No, exactly. Yeah, come on. He's a stud. Wherever you put him. But I want to see a little bit more Rafael Ortega. He had a couple good at bats today. The fact that Bader's down with an injury, I'm not sure if you guys touched upon that or not, but
We did, but we
Bader's,
could let you go.
yeah,
we did.
yeah. So I kind of want to see a little bit more of him. Willie Calhoun is like short, like Jose Altuve short, but the power is there. You could just see it in his swing. It's extremely aggressive. The bat speed is there. Donaldson doesn't look good. He's lost. I feel like he's lost.
Yay!
Yeah, watching
Shocker.
him in person.
Let me put on
Yeah,
my shocked face.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't the case, but I mean it's still spring training. We're only 2 weeks into it. But I kind of went roundabout there, thinking about everything that happened today. It's been a really long day for me, but Volpe and Peraza, both of them extremely athletic up the middle defensively, and I'm excited to see what they're both going to do at the big league level.
Yo, can you tell me, because I saw the video of it, but can you tell me the Dominguez home run, that 3-run shot?
Yes, please.
It was a bomb.
That was a tank. It was an absolute nuke.
Ridiculous.
All right. How loud?
Yeah.
How loud really was it when you were there hearing it?
No, it was loud. Yeah, man. The ball just jumps off his bat. It's ridiculous. I want to I didn't get a chance to take pictures of him in center, but he is just a commanding presence out there. Dave and Mark, you guys saw it, but he's getting there. And for him to be 20 years old to be where he's at is really impressive. Really impressive. And Andres Chaparro, oh my gosh, that dude is a tank too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chaparro's a big boy.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
So I need to get this off my chest because I've been festering with this for, probably since Saturday after the game. There's a lot of this hoopla on Twitter. I know Alex says Twitter is not a real place. I agree with him, but nonetheless, you still got,
don't care about you, Twitter.
Couch GMs at home saying that Dominguez needs to be traded now for Brian Reynolds. Let me explain something all on Twitter that want Dominguez traded for Brian Reynolds. Jason Dominguez is the kid's 20 years old hitter because, switch hitters are a plethora in Major League Baseball because there's just a ton of them sitting around, right? 16 at bat, 438 batting average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and an OPS of 1.526. You are not trading this, especially for Brian Reynolds, who's got 15 at bats, an 0.67 batting average, and a 192 OPS. So stop with the whole Jason Dominguez needs to get traded nonsense. So enough. Stop. It's not happening. Jason Dominguez is probably the second coming of Bernie Williams with some insane power behind it. And he is not. Get used to the idea of Brian Reynolds not coming here. You all want Brian Reynolds here because someone somewhere in the Pirates organization was like, this guy's the second coming of God. He's not. Hate to break it to you, but he's not. So stop.
Hey, Dave, don't worry, bro. Don't worry. They would have traded Mickey Mantle if they had the chance.
If Twitter was around in 1950,
exactly.
It's
100%.
They would have been saying, get rid of Mickey Mantle before you even came up. Come on, don't worry about
Derek
it.
Jeter would have been traded. Mariano would have been traded.
Exactly. Don't even pay
Mariano was almost traded.
Exactly, in real life.
Yeah.
And that would have been a huge fumble.
For Freddie Vermeeren.
Whoever that is, right?
Yeah. But I'll say one thing. The whole Twitter thing and everybody talking about. Well, before you go, Alex. I get where I understand what Dave's saying. I've been on this bandwagon where forget trading Dominguez, but I understand where the fan base is coming from, where they want to win now. They're in a win now mode. But don't forget, Dominguez was available for Luis Castillo. I think he was available when it came down to trying to get Juan Soto. So when the names comes available, then you're sitting there going, okay, if he's available for these guys, then he's got to be available for somebody else, and we can make this deal and can make this and get the team to number 28. I see where it's coming from. I don't want Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds is what, 20? Correct me if I'm wrong, Danny. I know you know the age. I think he's 28. 28 or 27,
Born in
28.
27,
1995.
28.
95 he was
Right.
born. So he's almost 30. He's 28.
So for 3 years of control of Brian Reynolds, I would rather take the hiccups that Dominguez will give me because the potential is astronomically higher.
Absolutely.
Astronomically higher. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I went to minor league games last year. I went to minor league games the year before when Dominguez first showed up in low A ball. And the ball was coming off the bat differently in low A ball than everybody else that was playing. So just take that into effect. And this is before all the changes that the Yankees made with him during that offseason. So I like what I see there. I think that that triangle of the middle of shortstop, second, center field, of Praz at short, Volpe at second, Dominguez in center field. 15 years, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good. Even if you have to move Dominguez to left field at some point, even if you have to move Dominguez to left field at some point to make way for either Spencer Jones or Brandon Maia, I'm good to go. I'm good, man.
I mean, I've said it on the podcast, trade Dominguez for Reynolds, but that was prior to me seeing Jason Dominguez and seeing what this kid does, because it is absolutely impressive. Brian Reynolds wishes, praise to the baseball gods, he could be even remotely close to what Jason Dominguez does on this field, and he's doing it against big league competition. He's doing it against minor leaguers. It doesn't matter who's on the mound. Jason Dominguez is going to hit you. And it's going to be from both sides of the plate. And he's going to take you deep from both sides of the plate.
And
Mark and I spoke about this.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
We spoke about his swing from the left side. I was like, hey, there's a little bit of a hitch there with his hands when he loads. But as the course of the spring has gone on, I feel like it's gone quieter. That left-handed swing has gone a little bit better. So it's translating to power from the left side. Imagine that in Yankee Stadium. Like, Dave, you said Bernie Williams. Bro, if he's consistent and he does everything he needs to do, he has a higher ceiling than Bernie. And I wouldn't go.
I was just making the reference to
100%.
Bernie because of center field and the way the way I remember Bernie
No,
playing.
you want to make a reference? It's Mickey Mantle, center field. Mickey Mantle.
No.
That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a reference for that guy.
The
He's
way he
gotten that
plays
too.
the game,
That's
the
what
way
you're
he
gonna
plays
give
the game,
reference
and
for
the
him.
way he plays the game, and the way he carries himself in center field reminds me of Bernie. That's why I have the vision of
we actually
Bernie
seen
Williams
Bernie play.
2.0.
I never saw Mickey Mantle.
Yeah,
There's videos.
I mean, he was only an all-star, a
Nobody
couple of
adjusted.
World Series, and a couple of Gold Gloves. No big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bernie's a great comp.
Yeah.
Latinos.
Oh, no,
playing
but
center field for the Yankees,
but like
great athletes.
when it comes to the whole thing about to Dominguez, though, 1,000%. Anyone who's thinking about trading Dominguez for trading with Dominguez for anything, you're smoking crack. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it straight up. Like, it's that you're not on the right planet right now. I'm sorry, you're either a Yankee troll or whatever it is, but because you're not a true fan, because you're not looking at anything that's going on in this organization. And if you are looking at anything with this organization, it's probably in the dumpster of Yankee Stadium because it's not on the field.
But like
And
the other thing
I've been seeing too. Sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to step on you. But the other thing I'm seeing too is, the Dodgers need a shortstop. Well, give him Oswald Peraza and keep IKF. It's like, all right, just stop right now. Just stop.
I've heard the other way.
Take your fan cards.
No, I've heard. No, I don't know why anybody wants to give up. Here's my thing: if we want to talk about fan base, you got certain people that kind of are pumping up Volpe a lot, and and Praz is kind of being pushed into the background when Praz's glove is much better. It's so much better than Volpe's at shortstop. If you want to do offensively, Volpe's got a better bat, but we're talking not much better. Just like Praz has got a better glove, but not much better. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a step above. The glove is much better. I'm sorry, it's a couple steps ahead of Volpe's because even Cabrera's glove is better than Volpe's for shortstop. But where Volpe comes in better is that he's got a better bat.
So you would say basically one's an A minus and the other one's a B plus.
I think you got glove wise. I think you're going to go with Peraza's an A, Cabrera's an A minus, and Volpe's a B plus. Yeah, that's how I'd rate them at shortstop glove wise.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Volpe has that Cabrera potentially doesn't have at short is the range. And Volpe is very rangy at short, and he's going to be extremely rangy at second.
Oh yeah,
which is going to be a benefit. Yeah, 100%.
He's going to play so much better, especially with the shift being banned. Like the range that because Peraza could get to everything. We saw it in the playoffs. We saw that he could do this in the most stressful circumstances, and it didn't bother him one bit. So just put the guy there, let him play. The fan base will be happy with what they see there. His battle come around. He adjusts every step of the way. Every part of the minor leagues he's ever been to, he always adjusts. He always gets better where he goes. Volpe will impress you at second base. The range there, and you got two guys under 25 playing your middle infield, and you're going to have plenty of range, especially when you got guys like, DJ. We're all talking. DJ's range is being limited now because he's up there in age. He's not going to be able to get to the balls that he once was getting to. So, give me those two guys right there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give me those two guys. We're good.
This is just really exciting stuff. I think all Yankee fans should be excited.
It is. Well,
I can't remember the last time we had this many prospects that were this good. I really can't remember of a time where we had this many prospects that were this good.
Well, we did that. We had that already. We had that about the last 10 years ago. Everyone thought that the prospects that were coming up were going to be this good. When you had Judge, you had Torres, we had Andujar, we had Gary, we had Greg Bird, Sevy. The Clint Frazier, the list goes on. Justice Sheffield, the list goes on and on. Chance Adams, Chance Adams I didn't think it was that good, but people were thinking highly of Chance Adams. We had that once before. It was the Yankee hype train built those guys up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
this is not a hype train though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, this is a totally different feeling.
You're right that this isn't a hype train, but
there was books written about those guys already.
Give it by middle of the season, they're gonna, the media is gonna hype them up really, really well, and they're gonna be, if they're not there, they're gonna be bounced. People are gonna be like banging on those doors to have them start coming up.
You get 2 months of Aaron Hicks dropping baseballs in left field or now center field.
He's already doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can be two more months of that. Everyone's gonna be called.
Hey, Dave, my shock face. My shock face,
yeah,
Dave.
Exactly.
2 more months of that, and then everyone's gonna be calling for Dominguez to bypass AAA and bring him straight up to the majors. Gleyber Torres not running out of baseball down first baseline. They're gonna be calling for Volpe to be called up in the first three games.
Yep.
It's that every one of us knows that's gonna happen. So
it's gonna be insufferable.
Oh, it really is. But
for you, Danny, is it going to be insufferable for you?
Yeah, because I manage a lot of the Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter loves Danny, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. Twitter loves Danny.
We double team this thing, and it's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Just let those kids play, man. Let Dominguez start off in a cold weather city. Because that's his next challenge. You got to see how he starts off in cold weather. He's always been in warm weather. You got to see how he does in cold weather.
Yep.
He got a little bit of a taste of it last year in AA.
Scranton.
Yeah, but that's
Scranton, Trenton. Ugh.
He went to Trenton, but I mean he didn't start the season when it was cold. Yeah, he didn't start the season when it was cold there. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
want him in
April.
April. You want him in April there when it's cold, where it's still cold.
Yeah,
let him deal with
50 degrees.
You rather have him there doing it then instead of over when the regular season they were like in Detroit and all that kind of stuff, like when it's beginning of season where it's usually cold.
Taking 95 off the thumbs when it's 50 degrees out.
Exactly
See how that feels.
Nope.
It's all different. It's whole different than being down in the DR, playing down in Florida, starting your minor league careers. You got to master that level. Then the sky's the limit.
One thing I do want to say is their mentality. Like, just all three of them. I'm gonna group it all together because they've had similar success. Dominguez is obviously a little bit more prolific, but they're not intimidated being on the big league stage in spring. Like, they don't look scared. Peraza looks like he belongs. Volpe, like, all these dudes have the correct mentality to withstand the highs and lows that come with being a big league ball player, because there's going to be a lot more lows than there are highs, and it just seems like they're steadfast. They're not. You don't see Dominguez jumping up around after a homer. He's not bat flipping after a homer. You don't see Volpe doing the same thing, or Peraza. These dudes are pros, and they're ready to deal with the highs and lows that come with it.
Yeah, and one more thing about Volpe before we get into pitching. Judge already came out and said it. If you have the tools and the ability to be good, then you should be playing for the New York Yankees and not in the minor leagues. So I don't know if I'm reading between the lines on that, but this is why I think Volpe starts the year in New York, because of that statement that Judge made the other day. I don't think Volpe starts the year in AAA. I just don't see it.
I think Judge has a lot of pull, but I don't think he has that much pull.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
That's going to take a lot of work for Brian Cashman to get him on the 40-man roster.
And especially the fact that you want him to you want Volpe up here playing every day. You don't want him sitting the bench. So it's like Danny said, it's multiple trades that have to happen. Multiple. So why not? And so you're talking service time too. So every team still does the service time.
I don't care about that. That's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, we need to.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
But you want Volpe for the 6 years? You want him for more than that?
I want him for 7.
That's what I'm saying.
Easy day.
I don't think if Volpe ends up coming up, I don't think Volpe sees free agency. I don't think
the Yankees have to get the Yankees have to change the way that they do business in order for that to happen.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
true.
So as of right now, I'd rather give me 7 years of him, and give him better contracts. So give him the better contracts as he moves up. But I think that you give him every day at bats, AAA, because he still needs to conquer that, because he hasn't conquered that one. And you give him time at third base, you give him time at second base, because you want him when he's up here comfortable in the position that he's going to be in. That's where it's been, because he's been playing nothing but shortstop his entire minor league career, and he's gonna have. I truly believe to be fully successful, he should be at second base. When we had Paul on that one time when we were talking about all this, I still believe that that minute Peraza does something wrong, they're going to push Volpe into shortstop. And even though I don't believe that Volpe should be at shortstop, but that's my personal opinion on the matter. But I think that you give Volpe every chance to get to second base, to get him into the big leagues at second base, because you can move Gleyber Torres for minimum of middle rotation piece. Gleyber can give you middle rotation or back end of the bullpen. So, with that said, you can move Gleyber, you can move IKF, and then you got Volpe right there, and you have Cabrera and you have DJ LeMahieu as kind of your backups for the two of them, and you're set to go. Save yourself a bunch of money, and boom.
I see Josh Donaldson hoping JD taking his spot. Like, oh, come on. I'm a little injured. Oh, no. Go ahead.
He really didn't look good today.
I can see that going on. Donaldson's going to love it because he's going to be selling the team and he's going to be getting days off.
After that last strikeout, he had like a 5-10 minute chat with the coaching staff.
I thought everyone said that he was practicing in the off season and all that kind of stuff and trying to get into what is this?
He looks.
I think there's something wrong with his vision.
It's called old age.
It might sound ridiculous, but I think there might be something wrong with his eyes.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's
Diabetes.
something wrong.
You
But I'm
can't
gonna
be
double
that
down.
bad.
It's pretty bad. I'm gonna double down on the Jose Ramirez comp with Anthony Volpe. The more I see Volpe, the more I see a diminutive dude that's gonna hit you 20 to 25 to 30 bombs and get you 30 bags, and that's what Jose Ramirez does. And he, even though he does it at third base, Jose Ramirez came up as a second baseman. I'm all in on that. The more, and especially the more I see Volpe.
Okay. Should we move on to pitching?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's rock and roll.
Go, Jefe.
All right. So in light of so it takes a nice little turn, especially in light of the injuries that were announced today. So I'm going to swing it around the horn, starting with Danny. So who do you believe is going to be the pitchers for the Yankees? Your starting five, and then the bullpen.
Yeah, so we spoke about this last week. No 6-man rotation. Okay. I had to bring it up since we're talking pitching. But
That's a joke, right?
No, I'm dead ass. All right. Dead culo. But obviously Cole, he's our ace. Rodon, Rodon's not going to be starting the year with us. So if I were to go into the opening weekend series, Cole, Nestor, Sevy, top three, with Herman and Schmidt kind of backing him up in that 4 or 5 spot. With the injury to Tommy Kahnle and to Trevino, that opens up 2 roster spots. And there's currently 2 dudes, the 40-man roster, where Brian Cashman has no work to do to just simply insert them into the bullpen, and they could get big league outs. Matt Crook, wait, that's his name, right? The lefty, Matt
Yes.
Crook, and Jimmy Cordero. Jimmy Cordero's looked really good this spring. He back in the day, he was hitting 102, 103 when he came up with I think it might have been Cincinnati, but most recently with the White Sox, he was throwing 99-mile-per-hour sinker. So, and he's looked really good this spring. So, I probably put Jimmy Cordero, Matt Crook, and then we got our regular dudes: Clay Holmes, our boy Wandy, Johnny Lowe, and then from there you kind of fill it in: Crook, Cordero. I'm kind of blanking on a couple of names there. But
You thinking about Weissert and Matt and King?
Marinaccio.
Marinaccio and King, and that kind of rounds out. Those are the 2 names I was looking for: Marinaccio and King, and that rounds out the bullpen. Weissert's a Fordham guy. I have a soft spot for our Fordham dudes, but I don't think he has the command right now to crack the big league club. I want to see him be more consistent at AAA and cut down on the walks, cut down on the long counts. So I'm going to go on Marinaccio, who looked great today, by the way. Got up to 96, was still on that Frisbee. So that's another guy that impressed me. But, yeah, though that's who I got going into the bullpen and starting rotation.
So for my starters, I got the obvious ones: Cole, Sevy, Nestor, Domingo, and Schmidt. Bullpen: King, Wandy, Holmes, Loizaga, Marinaccio, Weissert, Crook, and Ian Hamilton, who's a non-roster invite, but has thrown the ball extremely well this spring, even though it's only been 3 innings, but it's still good stuff. Hides the ball well, straight up over the top guy, compact delivery, and throws a nasty slider, sinker, and fastball. So that's who I got rounding out my bullpen.
Well,
You're
damn.
muted.
Well, damn, you just went in there like quicker. They were like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm
Mark,
all
you're
pissed
muted.
off.
Nobody can hear you.
Sorry about that. So before you go, Alex, I do have a question. I'm going to throw to Danny, Dave, then I'm going to throw over to you as well. So with the beginning of the seasons, usually you have a 4-man rotation with plenty of off days. So as of right now, everyone's saying it's gonna be Cole, Nestor, Sevi. Who's the fourth guy? Who out of Domingo and Schmidt? Who's your fourth? Who's number
Mingo.
4?
Mingo.
All right, Dave.
Schmidt.
Okay, Alex. I'm assuming that you're in the same boat as pretty much everybody else is right now. But if you're not, all yours, brother.
Nope. See, like Rodon screwed me over because I was gonna end it with Domingo, but now I'm gonna have to. Now I got to put Schmidt in there. Sorry,
Okay.
that's gonna be the way it is. But everything else is basically the same thing that's going on. It's like,
and you got Mingo as your 4. You got Mingo as 4th, right? As your 4.
Mingo's my number 4, and then I got for number 5, I got Clark. And then
what about your
everything. Bullpen is basically the same thing. Nothing changes in the bullpen, really. Nothing changes. The only thing I will do change is I will give a better chance for Devi. I will give Devi a chance now.
Well, don't forget, Devi's got an option here, so he can go back down.
Exactly. That's why I will give him. I will probably give him a chance and see what he has right now, to see what happens, especially with this whole Rodon injury going on. It could work out, and then he could just stay there in the bullpen. And if we need to put him in there for some sort of injury that happens, he could be ready for next man up.
I mean, he's not doing bad this spring. He's pitched in 2 games, 2.25 ERA, 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, and a 1.00 WHIP. So, yeah, maybe he found it. I don't know.
Boom! Look at that.
97.
I think they'll give Devi.
Hey, Mark. You know I did good when Dave and Danny both opened their eyes like in shock with that one.
I think they'll give Devi a chance over anybody else when the season starts. I think Devi will have first dibs to fill a role in that pen before anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to remember too. We also got Albert Abreu, who they have a soft spot for whatever reason. So
he's got great.
There goes all of our predictions out the window.
I hate that you said his name. I didn't want him to see.
I'm sorry, bro. You know,
I'm not even saying his
sometimes.
He's out of options.
He is. Yep.
They love him. That's why they brought him back.
Yep. They kept him on the postseason roster, for God's sake, last year. So they obviously like this kid for whatever reason. Yeah.
Because he's good. He's got great stuff.
Good at what?
He's consistent.
Dumpster fires.
Yeah. Exactly. Great at coming up on the mound. Is like, oh great, this game's gonna be over. I'm not even gonna let me go to the bathroom. Oh look, we're losing! Yay!
I hold my breath every time he throws a ball.
It's like when we had Steven Shreve on the team, man.
Oh,
Chasing Shreve.
Chasing Shreve.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, you don't gotta get his name right. Whatever the guy, that dude guy.
Shreve, it was bad. The minute he would come in the game, I knew it was over with. I was like,
he was good when he first came over, and then I don't know what happened to him.
Guys, hold up. Mark, we haven't heard yours.
Everyone's talking. I was waiting. I'll give everyone a chance to get it out there.
I just realized that we need to hear from you though.
All right. Well, everyone is the same thing. So I'm going to be aligned with Dave, where I think that Schmidt's going to be the number 4, and Mingo's number 5. Back end of the bullpen.
You're with me though. You're going for 5 though.
Well, no, it's always going to be 5. I'm not a 6-man rotation guy at all.
Okay.
It's 5. It's Cole, Nestor, Sevi, Schmidt, Mingo, with Schmidt being being your number 4. You got Holmes, you got Loaizaga, you got King, you got Marinaccio. I still think Weisert's going to make the team. Some of the names I can't even spit off the top of my head anymore, but I think Abreu is going to be there until they trade him for somebody else, and they get another. Cashman will find a diamond in the rough using Abreu for something else.
No. It's going to be more. We think it's a diamond. It's more rough.
No, we got Trevino.
We got Trevino.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got Trevino for him, so
we got platinum.
Yeah. Everyone gives Cashman a bad rap on a lot of things, and he's had some bad trades. He doesn't win every trade, but he finds deals along the way, and he uses those and gets other stuff. mean, Talkman. We had Mike Talkman at one point, and he was doing really well for us.
Another guy that comes to mind that he found too was AJ Cole a couple of years ago. A guy that got scooped up off the scrap heap and came here and pitched well, and then DFA'd him 2 years later for whatever reason.
His slider got flat. But Didi Gregorius, like he found us.
Yeah.
Found
Didi.
Shortstop.
I mean, he turned Nestor into him getting Nestor back, and they turned Nestor into what Nestor is right now. So, as much as the fan base, does craps on him a lot, the Twitter world wants to ship, send Cashman off onto a spaceship into the middle of nowhere. He's not a bad GM, and he's well respected throughout the industry. So we kind of take the good and the bad as much as we do have people trash. We trash Boone here too. He does have good qualities. We do trash Cashman, but you have to give Cashman his due as well. I mean, well, at least with Cashman with Boone, Danny's the one who will help us out on that one.
Well, funny thing happened today. It was Boone's birthday. They announced it in like the 6th or 7th inning, and we're on the first base side, and a bunch of Yankee fans saying Aaron Boone happy birthday today, and he acknowledged us, and that was pretty cool. Like I'm a Boone guy.
Yo, were you there early? Did you watch him hit the home run in batting practice?
No, I got there maybe at 12:30 today. So once I got to the stadium, I was just focused on making content. I was able to get Judge warming up and Schmidt warming up in the bullpen, so that was pretty dope. If you guys
you also told us you met somebody very interesting today.
Oh yeah, I was walking out the stadium and met Aaron Judge's dad. So what's up, Mr. Judge? He said, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "All right, cool." That was pretty cool to see him and acknowledge him, and yeah, man.
So he'll be on the. So we're getting Judge on the pod next week, right?
So Aaron's coming on next week,
confirmed.
Right? All right, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, he's confirmed. Yeah, I spoke to his dad. Dope. His dad said yes. So yeah,
his dad's gonna let him come play with us.
Yes, exactly.
I wish. What a rush that would be, huh?
Oh man, I wouldn't know what to. I probably wouldn't be able to talk, to be honest.
You and me both.
Yeah. All I know. Danny said Aaron Judge is going to be on next week, so I'm ready.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
You heard it here, everybody. Look out for that YouTube link. It says Aaron Judge on the Bronx Muchachos.
Maybe in a couple years. Who knows?
Disclaimer to everybody that actually thinks we're being serious. Aaron Judge is not coming on next week.
What are you talking about, man? I'm putting it out there now. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there on Twitter. You'll see me post it on Twitter. Oh, that's right. I never do.
Oh, wow. It's something you don't do. Wow.
Exactly. So I'm not going to do
it. Pitching in the American League East. Where are we putting the Yankees?
Number one.
I don't think it's even close. Yeah.
No, I go. Yeah, I go. Yankees, Tampa, Toronto, Boston, all Baltimore.
Tampa really doesn't have a pitching staff, so they throw their pitchers out there.
They have Shane McClanahan
who's had injury problems. Shane Bass, who's had injury problems. They lost Ryan Yarbrough.
Tampa
they find ways.
They find him. Doesn't matter. They find him all the time. Pitching with Tampa, they go hand in hand. I never count them out. They'll bring someone up that will knock your sock. They'll be a revelation to everybody.
Jeff Springs. We never heard of Jeff Springs in ever.
And he had a really good struck Josh Donaldson out on 4 pitches.
Yeah. And then he had a really good year last year, and then they signed an extension this year. He's a good dude to have in that rotation. But I think it's Yankees. Well, once we get fully healthy, Yankees by a mile, unless Barrios from Toronto has a bounce back year. Gosman, Manoah for Toronto, they're good dudes, but they're not quite
Chris Bassett.
what the Yankees have. And Chris Bassett, yeah, but he's a mid dude. I think if you go 1 through 5 or 1 through 4 with the Yankees, even with the injury to Rodon, you're still and Montas, you're still gonna go Cole versus Gossman. Cole. Nestor versus Berrios. Nestor. It's not even close. Sevi versus Bassett. You're going Sevi. And then who's Ryu's not even coming back. I don't know who's. It's just that end of that rotation is not really popping out for Toronto. And the back end of the bullpen, maybe it's a push between Romano and Clay Holmes, but everybody else, Wandy,
Clay
Lowe,
Holmes,
King. Yeah,
Oh,
Clay Holmes
you're
versus
talking-
Romano.
yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Clay Holmes, Romano's a push, I think. You might give a slight edge to Romano because he had more saves and was a lot more consistent last year. But beyond
Until Aaron
that,
Judge comes up and faces him.
Yeah, exactly. And hits a walk-off homer. So,
Yeah.
Yankees by a mile. Tampa, I would agree with Mark, is there because they find a way. Boston is interesting, especially at the back end with Kenley, and then you have Sale, Pivetta, who pitched well today, Kluber. Like, those guys have high upside, but I'm not sure if they're going to deliver on that high upside. And then Baltimore is not a very far fifth from Boston because the high upside with Baltimore is at least 85 wins.
Yo, the thing
Yeah,
with
but
Baltimore is
Baltimore's got some
everyone's coming.
stud
They're
pitchers
coming.
coming up, though.
Yeah,
They're going to be a force to be
Rodriguez.
reckoned with.
Yeah.
Grayson Rodriguez, I think, is going to break camp with the team. And
my order is actually very different than, I guess it's similar and different at the same time, because for me it's Yankees, Toronto, Baltimore, Tampa, and then it's going to be then the Red Sox. That's how I have it. I feel Baltimore, their pitching is actually better than we think it is, or better than everyone is right now saying it is.
Baltimore's going to have the element of surprise against everybody, with some of their guys. But once they see them and figure them out, then I think when they have to make the adjustments, that's when you see what happens.
But you also have to remember right now, this season, remember the way the schedule is set out. It is set out so a team like them it's better for a team like them right now compared to previous years that they're going to go against the whole AL East, and the whole AL East is kicking their butt. But let's be real. Right now, this is not. They're not going to have the whole AL East. I'm kicking their butt. It's going to be, oh wow, look at it. We actually get to play other teams.
You have a good point.
But even with those other teams, they still got to play guys like Dodgers. They got to play the Mets. They got to play some. They got to go around the league,
and they got to play the Angels, and they got to play the Athletics.
Angels are going to be good this year. I said it here first. Angels are going to be good this year.
Yeah, and you said it here last.
I did.
Is this before or after they trade Ohtani?
God, Ohtani. They're going to be a dumpster fire. Mike Trout may like.
They will. What? It's going to happen.
Mike Trout might be
okay, so I want to do something. I want to do something really.
We need yours.
We need yours, Dave.
I'll get back to you on it. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's
but real quick though,
answer.
IKF. the one rumor that's been going around has been IKF to the Dodgers for Trace Thompson. What do we think? Smoke or fire?
Well, I think we spoke about it on the pod. If not on the pod, then definitely in a production meeting where Trace Thompson would be the type of dude that IKF would come for or go for. So bunch of strikeouts, but he could play center, all three outfield positions. Brother of Klay Thompson, so he'll be an interesting dude, but nobody that's going to be pushing a needle just like IKF.
Yeah, I'd rather have Rafael Ortega.
Until I see it, it's smoke.
I think there's fire behind it because you get rid because it's money saving, and I think that's, as I said before, that's where the Yankees are moving towards right now. It's money saving because if they need to make a move down the line, they have to make moves to clear up space. Yeah. They're not gonna play the game of, okay, we're going to give you X, Y, and Z. We're going to give you better prospects so you can eat the money right now, like they did 2 years ago with Joey Gallo and with Anthony Rizzo. They're not doing that this year, and no one. I don't think teams are gonna play that game because they know they can hold them to the fire and say, okay, well, if you want us to take more, that if you're going to give us more, then we're going to go higher end, and they're not going to play that game. So,
Yeah,
that's where I think like Danny said, it's a move that it's a nothing burger move, except that it saves $4.5 million for the Yankees. It just moves them a little bit further underneath the cap, and that's what I think is needed to. I think that's the move that Hal will want to have done. He'll want that move to do so they can make another move, which possibly could be moves just to start shedding salary, but to get better players coming in or younger, more controllable players coming in. So there's a lot of moves that we're going to wait for because April 1st. If Hicks makes it to April 1st, then he's going to be here for the remainder of that contract because he's got 10-5 rights. And then like I said, we still got the IKF and Gleyber Torres sagas that will still be playing out. So,
yep,
that's where that stands.
So, I'll believe it when it happens. Until then, whatever.
Who knows what
I'm sick
happens?
of rumors.
All I know is three more weeks. 3 more weeks. That's all I know.
That's it. We're at the halfway point of spring training. So I would say thank you for everybody for tuning in, but we had nobody in the chat tonight. So it's kind of sad. We like engaging with everybody. So if you see us live, come talk to us. Engage with us. It makes the show better. It makes things flow.
Now I get
Everybody
my
listening
shock face.
overseas, we thank you as well. If you're tuning in tomorrow overseas, awesome. But hopefully we get over these injuries quick and our team is back to full health come, mid-April. So for Danny, Alex, Mark, and Manny behind the scenes, David, Bronx Muchachos signing off.
Blue Steel.